fighting on week 7 of Dana White's Contender Series. That is September 19th. Please welcome the quiet man himself, Dylan Mantello. Dylan, my man, 2 weeks out from the day. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Thank you for the time today. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got 2 weeks to the fight. Feeling super prepared. Poured my heart and soul into this training camp. Huge opportunity, obviously, fighting for a UFC contract. So, I'm just ready to go, man.
And when you got that call, where were you? What was your immediate reaction?
Yeah, I think I was at work actually. I was sitting in my office waiting. I was getting ready for something. Sometimes you do this long enough, you kind of feel, you put enough feelers out there, you get your body ready. You start getting the sparring rounds in, and something's gonna pop up soon. You just get a feeling. So I knew something was gonna pop up, whether it was CFFC title fight or we were really banking on Contender Series. We were looking good for it. We were getting some feedback. My manager, Ali Abdelaziz, has a great relationship with the UFC. So, he was giving me the nod saying, let's see if we can make it happen this summer, and got it done. September 19th. We got a good opponent. I like the matchup, and I'm ready to put a stamp on this and cash my ticket to the UFC.
And your last fight out, CFFC 118, I was actually there in person. I don't know if you remember. I shook your hand briefly afterwards, congratulated you because, dude, that was madness. I mean, that was comeback of the year. That was insane. So, what was that win like? Walk me through that briefly.
Yeah, right. No, I honestly, after the fight, I know that's when everybody swarms you, and I can't even.
You got swarmed, yeah.
You get so much crazy energy after the fight that. But yeah, I mean, that fight was, I really liked the matchup going into that one. I might have been even a little bit too overconfident with it. And I kind of just tried to get in his face a little bit too much and not use my range as well as I can. But he was a tough guy. He had a lot of wins on his record. So he was experienced. Fighting a shorter guy like that too, presents some problems. Some people see the size and the height and think that's, just automatic advantage, but there are some downsides to it too. Guy just coming with an overhand right, coming from his knees, I can't really see some punches coming. So right. He wound up clipping me with a shot. I went down. Thankfully, I'm very well rounded. Sarah Jiu-Jitsu. So whether I'm on my back, whether I'm on my feet, whether I'm on top of somebody, I'm dangerous no matter where. So whether I'm hurt, whether I'm healthy, doesn't matter. I'm coming to finish my opponent. Every second of the fight. So whether it was the last second of the round or the first second of the round, my mindset's the same thing. I'm trying to take you out.
And I mean, you clearly made a statement. It worked. You're in Contender Series now, and training at Law MMA. Are you doing anything differently this fight to prepare mentally? Just being the high caliber of the fight.
Well, I actually had a teammate, Pampos Grigoriou. He was actually just won his first round knockout in Contender Series not too long ago, and I was actually there that week for some press that I was doing for the UFC Contender Series, lead up. So I wound up going to his fight and watching, the walkouts and getting the feel for the environment and all that kind of stuff. And, it's great watching your teammate go in there and, show you how it's done. So it was, that's been helpful for me as far as training camp wise goes. I've been at this a while now. So I, every camp I get better, honestly. And this camp, I'm just absolutely cranking the cardio. I'm pushing myself. There's no cheating on the diet. There's no shortcuts whatsoever. So when you're fighting regionally, sometimes it can get a little bit monotonous. Every fight's crucial and every fight's your most important fight. But, when you're stepping up and you're flying out to Vegas to fight for a UFC contract, it's pretty easy to stay disciplined and make sure you're, doing the extra work. So that's what we've been doing. I feel really good right now. My sparring rounds have been looking great. And I'm ready to go show the world right now who the quiet man is and sign that contract to the UFC.
It's getting harder and harder to make this next statement because there's more and more names. So if I forget anyone, sorry, but Longo Wyman, you guys got Marab, Aljo, Steamroller, Dennis Bazukia, Pampos, yourself. Who else? Any other UFC guys? Is that it?
Quinta will be in my corner.
Oh yeah, okay. But I was gonna say, so out of all the talent there, man, and there's even more up and coming guys. What would it mean to join the ranks of those guys in the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, when you join Cerro Longo, it's they have the posters up on the wall of the banners of all the guys that make it to the UFC. And not to say that anybody that doesn't make it to the UFC isn't a tough and talented fighter. But, it's just a standard of excellence at our team that, if you're going to commit yourself to the sport and you're going to fight professionally, the goal is the UFC. It's the highest promotion in the world. And, that's kind of where you're going. And once you're in the UFC, that's just a foot in the door. We also breed champions too. So, there's never really, it's kind of like you just climb a mountain, and when you get to the top of that mountain, there's always another mountain. So you have to enjoy the process too. You can't just look at, getting to where you want to be. So I'm enjoying the process. I love training. I love working with my coaches. I love helping some of the younger guys too. So I'm a martial artist through and through. I love this sport. I love what it's done for me personally. I love that it can help younger people as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a standard of excellence here at Serra-Longo where, that's what to be expected. If you put the work in and you follow instructions and you listen to the coaches, that's to be expected.
And you mentioned Raging Al. Who's the other person coming to be in the corner?
I got my boy Charlie Campbell, one of my best friends, literally a groomsman in my wedding. So he's like a brother of mine, an absolute beast himself. Our roster of lightweights just in our team alone is absolutely crazy. We got me, Charlie Campbell, Nazim Sadikov.
Forgot about Nazim.
Armando is a beast. We got Fervola, obviously, Ali Aquinta, Justin Montalvo. We got Alex Brown fighting this weekend at Ring of Combat. I know I'm going to forget some guys here, but
a lot of names.
We got Austin Halleck, who's an undefeated amateur, just won his first amateur title. He's going to be an absolute savage when he turns pro. We got another guy, Levin, in the gym from Russia, part of Russia. He's an absolute whiz with the striking. He's doing some really impressive stuff. He's going to round out his game. Keep an eye on that guy's name. He's going to be coming up fighting for CFFC and Ring of Combat soon. So he's going to be having some serious knockouts, and he's going to be a problem in the future too. So iron sharpens iron. You come to this team. I try to be a leader as well. I'm one of the older guys. I'm 30, so I've been around the block. I'm a grown man, so I try to lead by example, and I think we all add our own addition to the recipe here of the team, where everybody kind of builds off each other. And I try to be a leader. I try to be a very disciplined and organized and helpful person to other people, and I think that resonates with the team. I think that we rally around each other. It starts with Ray Longo, obviously at the top. He's breeded a culture in the gym that's it's a family environment. When I see my guy, when I see a teammate fighting, I feel like my brother's fighting. You know what I mean? So we rally around, and it's hard to beat a team like that. When you go to American Top Team, not to say that those guys aren't well prepared, but you go to some of these other big gyms. It's kind of guys are kind of on their own a little bit, but when you fight Serra-Longo, you're fighting the whole team, you're fighting the whole family. So that's how we get it done.
And I might butcher the name, but you're taking on Kanan Krachewski. Sounds good to me. What are your thoughts on him as an opponent?
Yeah, it's an odd name for a Brazilian, I guess.
Right?
I don't know what his heritage is, but it seems like he's a Brazilian through and through. All of his fights are in Brazil. So he's got a pretty good record, no amateur experience. So, altogether our experience is about the same. I think he's 13-1, 13-2 or something like that. So, he's a tough dude for sure. He's been in some tough fights. Not fighting in the US. I'm not exactly sure the caliber of most of his fights. I've seen some tough fights that he's been in where he's had to prove himself, and he did. So I am certainly not taking him lightly whatsoever. I think I'm on a new level right now, and I don't think that I don't think he has what it takes to beat me, but he'll probably have a bright future. I think that, he's coming to win. I'm coming to win. But when we meet out there in Vegas in the desert, I'm going to be the one getting my hand raised, and I'm going to be the one signing that contract.
And from what you've seen of him, how do you feel like your guys' styles are going to match up against each other?
Yeah, I see some opportunities for me to knock him out for sure, with the right hand or some other options that I have. He's aggressive, so that could work against him. But I like the style. He's a pretty traditional Muay Thai guy. He's well-rounded jiu-jitsu guy. I don't think he's fought anybody with my size though, and my experience. with the guys, the caliber of guys that I train with. So, I see me finishing him for sure. Whether it has to be that I have to push a pace that he can't handle and just break him and finish him there. But, it could be a war. It could be either way, it's going to be an exciting fight, whether it's a quick finish for me or whether it's a war and I gotta dig deep like I've done several times before. Doesn't matter. It's going to be an exciting fight. I see guys sometimes get in there and, they're going for takedowns and you're holding a guy against the cage on the Contender series. And, you look at that and you say, well, if you're doing that and you win, you're not even going to get signed anyway. So I'm not even sure why half of these guys are on there, to be honest. So that's not my style. I'm a fan favorite because of the way that I fight. And when I get out there, nothing's going to change with that. I'm going to take him out.
And I guess that's a good segue to my next question here. 6 of your 7 wins are by finish. Is it very important for you to find a finish to impress Dana?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I finished all of my opponents that I fought that I beat. I finished. One of them was a decision that I later had a rematch and finished the guy. So there's really only been one guy that I haven't finished. Archie Colgan, who's top. I think he's top 5 now in Bellator. So
yeah,
he's got a pretty good pedigree as well. I took that fight on short notice as well. So that one's in the past, but I've grown a lot from that one. So yeah, I mean, I'm a finisher, whether it's in the UFC cage, whether it's in the cage, the CFFC cage, whether it's in the alley behind the bar or, whether it's in Madison Square Garden, I don't really care. I'm there to take that person out. I have a very good ability to focus on the task at hand when I'm in the cage and stay disciplined in my mind and just know that I got to put my fist on your face and I got to knock you out. And then I can enjoy the rest of the stuff after that. So that's the plan.
Then you were there with Pampos, so you kind of know how it works now, and it's been on for 6 or 7 seasons. So when you get the win, man, you're going to be back there on the stool waiting for Dana. So what would your pitch be to Dana? Why do you deserve to be in the UFC?
I think my pitch to Dana would just be that, I understand what the UFC is looking for because, I know what the fans want because I am a fan. I love martial arts. I love the UFC. I love watching these fights. I love what martial arts has done for communities and for people individually. And I think that, martial arts really has the ability, especially now since the growth with the UFC in the world, that, martial arts can really change the world and really solve some of the issues that we see in the world. Just by people's ability to defend themselves and be formidable and have respect and those kind of things. I think it's really a good solution to a lot of the issues that we're seeing in the world. And Dana White's responsible for a lot of that. So, I give him a lot of respect and I give a lot of respect to the UFC. And if he wants an exciting fight and a guy who brings it every single time, then I'm your guy.
Love it, man. And, in terms of a debut, any cards that you're eyeing up, any timeline? I know that Madison Square Garden is going to be in November, and then they're talking about Atlantic City next year too. So what are your thoughts there?
Yeah. So my wife is actually 8 months pregnant. Her due date is probably like a week after the fight.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So the plan is to go get a win, knock this dude out, sign a contract and come back, for the birth of my son, Lorenzo. And the plan is to go and get a win, come back home, have a baby, and then probably early next year get back to it and make the UFC debut. I know Madison Square Garden's coming up. I think we got a few guys eyeballing that card already. Nazim, Dennis, Frivola. There's a few guys. So either way, that's going to be a stacked card. I hope to be involved in some capacity. I'm sure I'll be helping those guys get ready for their fight. So, it'll be a good dry run for that. And, focus on the birth of my child. And then 2024, is going to be my UFC year where I kind of make a splash in this sport.
Well, congrats, my man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And then in terms of an opponent for a debut, is there anybody, and I know you probably have names off the wazoo you want to fight, but anybody you could see yourself fighting early, or are you game to fight anybody? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, my mindset is I don't like to get ahead of my head over the skis or whatever. I take it one fight at a time. Every fight is the fight of your life. I don't look past anybody. I've made that mistake in the past where you start thinking a little bit too far down the line and you're not focused on the task at hand. So I try to focus on what I have in front of me, focus on just being in the moment and, every single day, just trying to work as hard as you can and stay focused. And then when you're in the cage, you can apply that same discipline of being focused to the fight. So I fight like there's no tomorrow, when I'm in the cage, and I prepare like there's no tomorrow after that cage. So, I'm prepared to go in there and put a performance of a lifetime on, do one thing, do it right, and then move on to the next thing.
And then last thing for me, man, before I let you get out of here, I just want to give you the opportunity with all the eyeballs that are going to be on you. You got a big fan base, support crew, whole gym behind you. Anything you would like to say to all your supporters and fans? If so, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I have a great support system. My family, my fan, my fans, my team. Long Island's a big fight town. You know what I mean? We got a big community. We know how to fight. We know how to support our guys. So I just appreciate everybody that's helped me get to this point. I plan on kicking the door in the UFC and kind of taking over once I'm in there. So, all my sponsors, everybody that supported me along the way. I tried to inspire others as well. So, I take this opportunity very seriously to not only prove to myself and prove to others that you could really do anything that you want to do in life. Whether if you want to make a decision and work your ass off to go do something, you can do it. So that's the message that I want to provide to my team, to my family, and to my children too in the future.
Give me the that.
Let's go.
The quiet man, Dylan Mantello, September
Yes, sir.
19th, Dana White Contender Series, ESPN Plus. Thank you so much, my man. Kick some ass, and I'll talk to you when you're in the UFC, yeah?
Absolutely, man. We'll do it again in the victory circle. Appreciate you, man.
Awesome.